Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. I hope you're all having a great, great day. Tonight, the Big Daddy Show. This is going to be our last one for a month because we're going to take some time because we got some amazing things coming up in Milwaukee next week and some other things going on and holidays and everything else. But welcome to the Big Daddy Show. I want to thank all my sponsors that you saw in the beginning. They are the best. But tonight, I have two wonderful friends and I am honored to have you both on, Mr. Troy Adams and Mr. Rich Lange. We're going to talk first about both individuals and their businesses, their DJ business and everything. And they're both, I think you guys live what, about 7 minutes apart? And to get together, you got to go to Milwaukee on a plane, which is great. But my friends, Mr. Troy Adams and Mr. Rich Lange. Troy, let's start it with you. Tell me about how you got started, how long you've been doing it, and tell me about your company.
Man, you're gonna make me age myself like right out of the gate, Big Daddy.
Yeah, but you're talking to the oldest man in the world, so you both are teenagers compared to me. Hello.
Oh, let's see. Started. Yeah. Hey, everyone. Hello, Troy Adams, owner of Carolina DJ Professionals, and we are in Charlotte with my good friend Rich, and I've got a team in Charlotte. We've got a team in Asheville, North Carolina. Excuse me, and a team in Charleston, South Carolina as well. So three divisions. Yeah, did my first gig back in high school, like 1993. And I always tell the story of my good friend was like a wizard with equipment. He actually went on to like teach people at IBM how to use new programs. So he was the smart guy, and so he brought all the gear. Like he brought the amp and the speakers that he and his dad built. I just turned the cassettes with the pencil, right, and got them all queued up. Stole some lights from my dad's garage that looked like furniture, and that's how I got started. Yeah, and then really took the next leap in college. I started DJing fraternity parties, and then I would go into the neighborhood, the campus bars, and I said, "Look, don't pay me tonight. Just try me out, and if you like me, give me a job." And so that's how I got started DJing in college. And then it just spiraled, right? Like the fraternity parties became sorority parties, became formal events for the college, and the bar gigs expanded. And then every time I moved, when I was younger and I was pursuing other things, every time I moved to a new city, I did the same thing. I moved to Atlanta. I walked into Buckhead and to a bunch of bars and said, "Hey, here's my mixtape," because I'm that old. Here's my mixtape, and said, "Try me out if you love me, give me a job." And right, so that's how right, and it just spiraled and spiraled, and then at some point, I think it was 2006, that I was like, I could legitimately make a living doing this, right? I've done enough from friends and friends of friends now, and let's make this a career. And my first company name was terrible. Like I should show the logo because the logo is just as bad. It was called Tea Time Entertainment, right? Because I had this dream. You can laugh. I had this right. For those that know me, I'm a golf. I used to be a golf pro, and I love golf.
Oh,
So
you're a golf addict. You're a golf
I had
addict.
this dream, right? I was gonna like teach the wedding party how to play golf on Friday, right? And then I was right. So TEE, and then I was gonna have like formal tea time with the wedding on Saturday, and then the whole tea in Troy. The logo is terrible. It was like a golf tee with a bow tie. I don't even know how I got business. And then we switched
That's
to
the
it.
worst. That's the worst idea I've ever heard.
Yeah, boy. And you're still with us, kid.
I like said, I must have done okay to overcome all that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then we went to the much more Google friendly name of Carolina DJ Professionals, much more Google search friendly. So, yeah,
and now you DJ, you have lighting you're right down the line, correct?
yeah. So I've got a team of 30 DJs, or 30, staff of 30, about 20 to 25 DJs, and yeah, lighting, you name it, lighting, Dance in the Clouds, Cold Sparks, I mean, the works, right? Do about 900 events a year. I did 5 last year. Out of 900, it's taken me a decade to get to that point. So yeah, that's kind of us in a nutshell. So
And
yeah.
you're married and you have 2 kids?
Yeah, married with a 6 and an 8-year-old. Thus, like one thing I like, because I talk a lot about time management and things like that, and I always am afraid people are going to get the misconception that I don't love DJing anymore. Like I love DJing. And this past weekend, I do more free events now than I do paid events. Like I DJ'd at the school charity event for the parents versus kids kickball. Right, brought all my gear out there, DJ'd for free because I got to be with my kids too. Because my kids are so young and active. Like, hey, when they go off to campus, when they go off to college in 15 years, if I can get back out and do 50 gigs a year, I will because I love it. But right now, like, I want to be home on the weekends. Thus, like the transition to all the speaking too, right? Because a lot of that stuff happens during the week. And so that's kind of allowed me to make that transition. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mr. Rich Lang, how about you, my friend?
Big Daddy, how are you? Great to see you guys.
Good, man. Great to see you. Thank you so much, both of you, again. I appreciate you both.
Absolutely. So the question is, what's my DJ business like?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, unlike Troy, I mean, I pretty much work by myself. I've been a single op most of the time that I've been a DJ. Actually work with another small group of DJs here in Charlotte these days that help book me and stuff like that. But, I've been doing it a long time, way before that year Troy threw out there. I went to a radio station in the town that I lived in and told them they should hire me. And they let me take out the trash and do some stuff like that. Eventually, they let me spin the vinyl records that played American Top 40 on Sunday night. And soon I was able to talk in breaks and do the weather. And, the bug hit me early. And soon after that, when I could drive, I convinced my dad to help me buy some equipment, and I started DJing parties. And I grew up in, for most of my time growing up, was in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And when I was 16, I started DJing in nightclubs that you had to be 18 to get into. And so I was doing clubs over near Wake Forest University and doing that sort of thing. And I've been doing it ever since, sometimes as a hobby, sometimes as a full-time job for about the past 20 years. Prior to COVID anyways, it was my main source of income. And, I tend to take the approach with couples that I work with to really try to create an experience for their guests and, try to do something different. Like Troy, I mean, whatever they need, I provide photo booths, DJing. I'm a MC, storyteller. All that good kind of stuff. I think one of the, I guess, I don't think that I'm so unique to the DJ world, but I do think that with it's all by happenstance, or maybe you made it happen this way that Troy and I are on here. But Troy and I work in a market together in Charlotte, North Carolina, where we've run into each other for years, and we're friends, and we compete for business. But we're not competitors. We like a lot of people in this market, we share information and try to get together. I actually, I checked before we had this call to make sure this was true. I actually still have the secret combination code to get into Troy's storage unit. So I can go over there anytime and get anything that I want. But I mean, perfect. I've lent Troy equipment. I've driven to his wedding on Saturday to grab something that I needed in the last minute. And, it's just been like that. Not Troy's a great guy and his company does a great job, but it's other people in the market too. And if you're lucky enough to work in a market like that, or, lucky enough to know some guys in your market, I just encourage everybody to, take the philosophy of that rising tide lifts all boats, and to know each other, because if you can remove those barriers, it's really fear that drives people sometimes. Get along with the people in your market and make it work.
Yeah.
You know what? Truer words were never spoken. The thing is, and I tend to do this, the biggest thing is your only competition is yourself. Mm-hmm. What you guys have as friends and friend petition, as they say, because you're all guys. And everybody listening out there, the younger folks, especially if there's any younger folks listening to us, it's not about your equipment, because we can all get the same equipment. We all can do the same thing. Yep. What's going to separate you? And if you're a good person, you're going to end up with a relationship like Troy and Rich have, and as everybody should have, because there's plenty of work out there for everybody. You just got to be smart. You got to, and just what you two have is amazing. So, real quick, you got a minute. Rich, what's your biggest passion for this business? What gives you the passion for this business?
I just like being a part of people's celebrations. That's really what it is. I mean, I like to DJ. I like music. All those great things. I like. I love people's stories, and whether it's people that I meet at weddings or the couple that I'm working for, I'm there to try to help couples create an experience for their guests, whatever they want it to be. And that's what I love about it. So, I mean, DJing it's the conduit to that, but spinning records or playing music or whatever it is that we do these days. Sure, that's fun. That's great. It's challenging, but really the thing that keeps me coming back is that relationship that I get with the couple and helping them create the thing that they want for that day.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
Absolutely.
Troy, my friend, what about you?
It's people. And I'll segue back to what you were talking about with Rich. Like, the reason my photo booth business is what it is because of Rich. Because when I first launched the photo booth side of our business and Rich was already crushing it, I went to Rich and was like, hey man, teach me. I need help. Can you help me with this? Right. And if he hadn't have done that, like there's no way I'd be where I am because of that. So like it's people all around, right? Full circle. It's the colleagues we get to work with. It's the vendors we get to work with, and certainly the bride, the bride and groom, the bride and bride, the groom and groom, the couples, right? The corporate clients, everyone we get to work with. Because whenever anybody interviews with me, I'm like, don't tell me you love music. Like, that's a prerequisite. We all have to love music. By the way, do you love the music that you don't love? Because you got to play the stuff that you don't like too. But like, it comes down to people and being that's the legacy, being part of their story and creating that huge moment, right? It's not just, we're not DJing for the couple in the bar, like grinding against the back wall. Okay. This is probably just like ruined the whole PGA rating, right? But like,
I haven't started cussing yet. So you're good. I haven't started cussing yet. You're good. Go ahead.
We're creating those like huge, important moments. Like, I always tell my financial advisor started out as a groom of mine. I spent, 12 months getting to know him. And I was like, I like how you roll. I like what I'm learning about you. What do you do for work? And so many of like my quote unquote life vendors and people in my life I came across them as clients, right? So it's people full circle for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's funny. One of the things for me and doing this show that I've done, and I can't thank John enough for allowing me to do this, and we will continue at the end of May, is to get to see the people, my friends, you, both of you, I consider very dear friends. And watching what you guys do gives me that, okay, I can do something like that would be different than anybody does up here. But having the friendships and the family, as I call them, from all over everywhere, this is what does it for me. I am honored to call you gentlemen my friends. First and foremost, my friends. But now, let's get into next week, and that will be Monday and Tuesday, the 28th and 29th, correct, Rich? Starting Sunday night with some stuff on Sunday night in Milwaukee, at the Hyatt in Milwaukee.
Sunday,
Midwest
Monday,
DJ
Tuesday.
Lives. Yep.
Midwest DJs Live is hard to believe, but it's happening coming this weekend. We've been working on it since last year at Midwest DJs Live, and we're sold out. So I'd love to tell you that I'm on here trying to sell some tickets, but I really just wanted to, come on and say thank you to you for all that you do. And also back there behind the scenes somewhere is John Young. And John, whoa, my camera fell. John doesn't get enough credit probably these days for the long-term give back that he's done to this industry. But thank you, John, for that, for all the things that you do and that you have done and will continue to do. But Midwest DJs Live is the passion of mine. I got involved with the organization about 6 or 7 years ago. I've done various roles this year. I'm serving as the president of the board. It's a nonprofit board that that puts the show on, and we're just really excited. We've tried to up the experience, the things that happen at the show, the presenters that are at the show, the education, the opportunities, all those things, and just to make it the best that we can make it. We're a not-for-profit show, and what that means is me as the providing the leadership of all the things that get done. I don't get paid a dime. Nobody gets paid a dime that's involved with it. Every dollar that we collect from ticket sales or from vendors or from sponsors goes back into the show. And that's why I say, it's not my show. It's not the board's show. It's not the it's your show. It's the DJs that show up and participate. It's your show. And we're just a steward of the money and the resources that you trust us with to put on the best thing that we can do. So having said that, I mean, I'm really excited about what's coming up. We have got a fantastic lineup of speakers. Chris Washburn is going to be there. Troy Adams is going to be there. And for the first time in a number of years, Mark Farrell is going to be addressing our group as well, and is going to be there speaking. So we've got all that going on, plus some great headline DJs, DJ Even Steve, DJ Mr. Gray out of Miami, are both going to be there.
Is one of my all-time favorites. Between him and Drew Pierce, their mixes to get, oh my gosh. But you have one, and Troy speaking, Troy, I could listen to you speak for days and days and days. There's a gentleman that is your host this year, Rich, and he was one of my first guests, Mr. Jonathan Simmons, DJ Woo Pig. Now, you want to talk about a class act, my friends out there? One of the best. Absolutely. And a heart of gold, and does amazing stuff with his business and everything. And did I also hear, Rich, that Alan Marshall's going to be speaking?
So Alan Marshall, I guess I'll break this news on the show.
Okay.
Big Daddy. And that is that Alan's got some issues going on with the family, and he's not going to be making it over. So he won't be there, but we've got some other things lined up. But, going back to your point about Jonathan, he is he's a ball of energy. I've been working with him. As you know, I've served as the show's host or co-host for a couple of years, but this year we're putting it into the hands of Jonathan. Woo Pig's going to be up there, being the maestro of everything that happens. And, not only will you get to see him kind of run things and make the stage happen at Midwest DJs Live, but you're going to get to know a great guy and somebody that has an amazing business. I mean, his DJ business, his production business, it's out of this world. So it's going to be a lot of fun to have him there.
And it was funny becoming friends with him because Troy and I are in Think Tank, and Jonathan's also in there. I had the honor of introducing Jonathan in Boston on stage for his first ever seminar.
Nice.
He rocked the living crap out of that thing just because of who he is. And Troy, you and I have known of each other for years. And I am so blessed to have called you both of you again, friends. Troy, what are you going to be chatting about at Midwest?
Oh man. Well, circling back to what we talked about with people. So we're talking, it's a talk called Shapeshifter, and it's all about all the different personalities that we come in contact with, right? All our prospects, all our clients, all our colleagues, and we all have a different personality, right? But we have to get along and work with all of them. So how do we do that? Like, how do we learn to identify what their style is? How do we know what our style is? How do we then adapt? And then how do we better connect, right? So there's a sales approach to it. How do we certainly do that in a sales capacity, but also in just a general connection capacity, right? Because how do I connect with that vendor? Because I'm still, quote unquote, selling, right? I want to work with you more. How do I connect with that potential employee or that person I'm trying to hire, right? Same thing. I want to kind of sell you on joining us. So how do we navigate all those differences, celebrate them, and then better connect through them? And we have a lot of fun because every time I've ever done it, right, it's people are looking at each other in the audience. That's you. Oh my gosh, that's me. I know somebody who does that, right? We have a lot of fun. So I'm excited.
Awesome. Yeah, I've had the honor. Last year, I had the honor of closing Midwest DJ Live. And that's all I ever want to do now. That's all I want to close every show. I was blessed to be able to do it at Max. I've done it 16 years in Atlantic City at DJX, and Midwest DJ Live is one of my faves. At Milwaukee, and when they got hit with COVID, the downtown is not like it used to be. It's very quiet, but you got it at a great hotel. You've got Rich. You have worked your behind off, and you have worked magic. And is Sean Shooting behind the scenes again? Is he the stage manager?
Yeah, so Sean serves on the board. He's kind of our marketing guru, but he's also what I call the straw that stirs the drink. He is the show manager behind the scenes, and he runs the production. And the production value. Chris Hence's company, Pinnacle Productions, is actually doing our production on stage. I mean, the stage, it's unbelievable. It looks like a production that costs 10 times what we pay for, and it's big time. And Sean makes everything happen back there. But
he's awesome.
We couldn't do it without him. That's for sure.
And you have Josh Staley upstairs running the nighttime stuff, correct?
Josh Staley is in charge of nightlife. So those of you who know Josh Staley, that means that it's unpredictable. It's going to be fun, but we have really no idea of what could happen or is going to happen. So you'll want to be there for it for sure.
Yeah, whoever's out there that's listening and watching that's going to be at this show, this is something you are going to be talking about for a very, very, very long time. This gentleman and and below me, Rich Lange, has worked very tirelessly. I wish I could be there, but thanks to business and family, not going to be able to make it this year. But I'm in my heart, I will be there with you guys from start to finish, and hopefully we can make something happen next year. But
well, let me just say I appreciate the credit, but I mean it is a team effort.
I know you've got a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of people that have put in a bunch of time, and they're really the ones that have put this thing together. This thing started 16 years ago in a garage with Big Ron, and has moved on since then. And like I said, we're the stewards of this show and keeping it going. And you're right. I have a sneaking suspicion that in 2025 we're going to see you, Big Daddy, in Milwaukee again.
You know what? I'm just coming for the cheese curds. Hello. The cheese curds and the swag I get from my boy Rich Lang. But it's the thing is, and people don't. A lot of people. Why do I need to go to these things? Because we're going to start promoting the other ones coming up at the end of May. Why do we go to these things? Because you never know what you're going to learn. It's amazing. You go in there. Free your mind, as my boy Mars Lawhorn from Chicago says. John, I'm going to swear once, quietly. Free your mind and your ass will follow. Take off the blinders, folks. There's other people out there that are doing it. Well, I couldn't do that in my area. You'll never know unless you do it.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing that's one step beyond that for me too, Big Daddy, and that's that. You can learn a lot of things, but where DJ shows, the first one I went to in Las Vegas, I think maybe really changed things for me is, in this business, a lot of times, and I'm sure there's other people that feel like me, we're just working as one person by ourselves doing these events, and nobody, including my spouse or anybody else, really understands what I do. But when you go to a show, you meet a lot of other people that are in the same boat. And what you do instantly at that show is you create a support system for yourself, people that throughout the year you can talk to. And I can honestly say that most of my best friends in the world all come from relationships that started at a DJ show. I remember to this day how kind you were to me, when I was trying to figure things out. I don't know if you remembered or not, but it was about 11:30 at night in East Tennessee, and I was sitting on a couch in the lobby, and you walked up to me and introduced yourself and offered your friendship to me. And I'll never forget that. But that's how these things start. And that's really what you get out of it. So you don't have to listen to one thing from stage or think that somebody has a better idea than you. But like Troy was saying, it all goes back to relationships. And I guarantee you that if you come to it, whether it's our show or another one, you're going to get something out of it that's going to help you throughout the year. I'll be quiet now because I know we're going to run long. But
Amen to that. Amen to
You
that.
know, amen to that. Well, gentlemen, and Rich, thank you. And I do remember that in East Tennessee 11 years ago, because I probably had just given myself a shot of chemo and couldn't go to sleep. So I came down and chatted. Most of my in 1997 was the first one I went to. That was in Atlantic City. And I'm going, why do I need to come to these? Because my calendar is filled, everything else. But now, look where we are now. We are friends, family, and everything. We all appreciate all of our families. And if we're going through something, we're all here for each other. That's the one thing nobody understands. You know, the younger kids, we got to get these younger folks on board with this. But we got to cut this short because we're running out of time, because I don't want to get involved with Ben Stowe, because Ben Stowe's next from what I understand. And, you know, if Ben gets upset, he's going to wrap a wire around my neck or something along that lines. But gentlemen,
he'll shock us somehow.
That's right. Thank you both very, very much. For those of you that are online with us here, that are going to Midwest DJ Live, learn, enjoy. And I want everybody to give my boy Troy, and especially my boy Rich, the biggest hug from Big Daddy. Gentlemen, I thank you both very much. Rich Lange, Troy Adams, you are the best. Mwah! Love you both. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Good
it.
night, everybody.
Love you, Big Daddy.